Needs a shoulder to cry on.
Hi friends, welcome back to my kitchen and welcome if you are new. I'm excited that you're here. I'm Cheryl, this is Table Full of Joy, and we have a really busy weekend coming up. Hubby and I have been battling sickness for the last couple weeks. We've been passing it back and forth and I think we're finally on the mend. So I'm tired of having a cough and just feeling horrible. But we have an extremely busy weekend. Our church does a youth auction every year to help raise money for our youth group, to send kids to camp, and to do all kinds of fun things that they do with the youth group every year, and to help us kind of support it so that they don't have to charge the families quite as much. So this year they're doing their annual, we call it the Share the Love banquet or dinner. And so people donate items to auction off to help raise money. They have a big, tonight or tomorrow night we're having a lasagna feed. So we're doing that. We also do what we call a dessert dash. And there's a few ladies that will make desserts and we donate those desserts and they're put up on a table, and each table auctions, they put in a bid and all of these desserts are auctioned off. So I volunteered to make 4. So making 4 desserts, 8 servings a piece, so it'll be 8 tables of 8. And so I'm making 4 desserts. I need to get these done because I have Bible study tonight. I've got a whole bunch of ladies coming over in a couple of hours. So I need to see how much I can get done tonight, get these finished up tomorrow so we're ready for the auction tomorrow night. And I'm also donating, like I did last year, a dinner cooked for 2 by me. I did this last year. It was super, super fun. Our current pastor and his dad, who's the former pastor of our church, they got into a bidding war over the dinner, and it was pretty comical. We all got a pretty good kick out of them. They kept slipping behind each other, secretly out, oven just preheated, secretly outbidding each other, and it was so much fun. And so I'm excited to donate again. I will go to somebody's house and I will cook a dinner for them, and they're special somebody, and so I'm excited to do that again, but I need to get these desserts done. So when I was researching desserts, I had an idea of what I was gonna make, but I changed it last minute because, friends, if you've been following me for a little while, you know that I've been playing with sourdough. I have not yet made sourdough bread, but I have a ton of discard. This is only 1 container that's in my fridge. So I need to do something with this discard. So I found these amazing desserts that use discard. So that's what I'm gonna do this year, is I'm making 4 desserts that use the sourdough discard. The first one we're gonna make is a chocolate cake. It's supposed to be made in a butt pan, but I'm not gonna do it that way. I'm gonna make it in a sheet pan so that I can cut this out with heart-shaped cookie cutters, and I can make little stacked cakes. And that's what these are gonna be instead of having a big bundt cake. So we need to get some of this discard used up. We need to get these made, and so let's get started. So I've got 1 egg already in here beaten. I need 1/3 cup of vegetable oil, 1/2 cup of milk, I went over just a hair. That's probably good. I'll just leave that there. All right, I also need 1/3 cup of discard. I didn't want to measure this out too early because I don't want it to leak. So I'm just going to use a spoon and measure out 1/3 cup. I thought this was pretty interesting when I saw that there are so many desserts that you can make with sourdough discard. I was pretty excited. I was like, you know, I need to use this discard, and why not do it and use it as a main ingredient in some fun desserts to donate to the church auction. Let's go just a little bit more. I think that should be good. Okay. I'm gonna get this scraped off. So we're gonna get these mixed together, and then we are going to start with our dry ingredients. We need to get those whisked together in our mixing bowl for our stand mixer, and we'll use the stand mixer to combine everything once we get all of this together. All right, so there's our egg, our oil, our discard, and our milk. We're gonna just set that aside, and we're gonna get our other ingredients together. We need 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of sugar, 1/3 of a cup of cocoa powder, one and a half teaspoons of baking soda, and my baking soda is a little clumpy, but I think it's going to be okay. So there's a half, there's 1, 1.5, and then we just need some salt. Using my Redmond's real salt, we're just going to do a pinch. Salt is super important in sweets. So I'm just going to use a whisk. Whisk these together. Get all the lumps out if they're, because as I said, my baking soda was just a little bit clumpy. All right, we're going to head over to the stand mixer. We've got our dry stuff in our mixer. We're going to go ahead and add in our discard mixture. And you don't want to overbake this cake. You want to mix it just until it's combined. I'm going to stop it there. We've got a half cup of coffee. It says the batter is going to be pretty thin. And you want to mix this just until it comes together. I may stop it and just finish mixing it with a spatula. I think that's where I'm going to stop. All right, so I've just got some Baker's Joy. This is the cooking spray with the flour in it. And as I said, I'm not doing this in a bundt pan. I'm doing it on a sheet pan, because I want to be able to cut these into heart shapes. So I just took my spatula, just went around the bottom of the bowl, just wanted to make sure I had everything out. We're just going to dump all this on here.
Everyone needs somebody to lean on. Everyone needs someone who cares. If we come together as one.
Let's take our spatula and just kind of spread it out. These are going to get stacked too high with a strawberry cream in the middle. I'm going to use some freeze-dried strawberries and heavy cream. And I'm going to make a strawberry cream to go in between these layers. And they will have a little drizzling of a chocolate ganache on top. All right, there's our cake. That was super fast. 1 recipe done, 3 to go. Let's get this in the oven. All right, while our chocolate cake is cooking, let's get our lemon cake made. We're gonna make this in a loaf pan. And I'm just gonna use my long Pullman pan. I'm okay if it's not super tall. I don't want it to be super tall. And that's gonna have a lemon glaze on it, but I'm also gonna make just a little bit of blueberry sauce to drizzle over the top of that. So the platter will have the slices of lemon cake with a little bowl of the blueberry topping in the middle of it, so they can do it themselves at the table. So let's get to the mixer and let's get this lemon cake made. All right, so in my mixer, I've got 3/4 of a cup of sugar. I'm gonna put in a half a cup of vegetable oil, 2 eggs, we've got a half a cup of our starter this time, or our discard. I'm excited to see how these turn out. I've loved making things with my sourdough discard here recently. All right, let's get this mixed up to start.
Everyone needs a shoulder to cry.
Okay, we're gonna put in 1.5 cups of flour. We need 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. A little bit of salt. Let's get this mixed just until combined. We don't want to overmix it. We've got a tablespoon of fresh squeezed lemon juice and a tablespoon of lemon zest. And last, we need 3/4 cup of milk. There, I'm gonna grab a whisk and I'm just gonna finish mixing everything in to get the rest of the lumps out with the whisk because I don't want to overbeat this. All right, got my whisk. Let's just scrape all this off the beater. So I'm gonna go around the edge of my bowl and down at the bottom and just make sure that I don't have anything down here, no the dry flour or anything like that. Don't really want to beat it too hard. I just want to kind of mash it a little bit just to make sure we get any lumps out and everything is all nice and mixed. All right, now we just need our loaf pan. And you don't typically have to spray these, but I'm going to because I just want to make sure I can get this out of the pan. Because I'm going for a beautiful presentation on the platter and I don't want this cake to stick, so it ends up having a funny side on it or something like that. All right, let's get this into our loaf pan. All right, just like that, friends, we've got 2 recipes done. And in the oven, we've got 2 recipes to go. And let's get started. All right, friends, here is our chocolate cake. This is super spongy. This is gonna be beautiful stacked with our strawberry filling in the middle. After this cools, we'll do it tomorrow. I want this to cool overnight. I'll just wrap some saran wrap around it. Keep it nice and fresh until tomorrow. But while our lemon cake is in the oven, let's get our 3rd dessert ready to go. We're making some espresso cupcakes with another sourdough discard. So let's get them made. We've got 1 cup of flour. We need a 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. It says preferably Dutch processed, but we're just gonna go with what I've got. I'm not trying to get too super fancy with this. We need a tablespoon of espresso powder. Let's see if my tablespoon, and it will not, so we're just gonna pour it. If you get a little extra, it's okay. That's probably good. We need a pinch of salt. We need 1 teaspoon of baking powder and a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. All right, we're gonna use our whisk. We're gonna get this all whisked together, and then we're gonna head over to the mixer. We're gonna get our wet ingredients mixed up. We're gonna add this to it, and this goes in the oven. We're gonna put in our eggs. We've got a 1/2 cup of our discard. We need a 1/2 cup of sour cream, and I'm just gonna eyeball it. Because I've got There's a quarter cup of milk. Put that in there. I'm just gonna eyeball this half cup of sour cream. I think that's probably good. Let's get this all mixed up together. All right, we're gonna mix in put in our dry ingredients, and we're gonna mix this just until it is barely mixed. If we have to, we'll finish mixing it with a rubber spatula or a whisk at the end. Just like that, friends, our cupcake batter. Look at how rich and beautiful that is. Oh my goodness, I'm excited about that. All right, so here is our batter. I'm just going to take my spatula and just kind of go around the edges just to make sure, on the bottom, make sure we don't have anything down there at the bottom. Got my cookie scoop. We're going to go ahead and fill our cupcake liners about 2/3 full. I want nice, tall cupcakes.
Everyone needs a shoulder to cry on. Everyone needs a helping hand. Everyone needs someone to rely on.
All right, friends, I made 15 cupcakes because you're gonna bake at 350. We'll see when they're done. All right, friends, we are into our fourth and final recipe. So we're gonna get it started. We're actually making a carrot cake. What I'm planning to do with this one is do the same thing I did with the chocolate cake. I'm gonna bake it on a sheet pan, and then I'm gonna cut it into rounds with a cookie cutter, and I'm gonna stack them probably 2 high with the cream cheese filling in between. I'm gonna pipe it on top, put a little bit of fresh chopped pecans on top, and since this has has fresh pineapple in it, or canned pineapple, I'm gonna do a little bit of dried pineapple on top because I don't want that wetness to interfere with my frosting, but I still want a little bit of pineapple up on top. So let's get this made. So we've got 200 grams of all-purpose flour here. We've got our salt and our baking soda. I'm gonna give those a quick little whisk real quick. All right, so we're gonna put in some some spices in here. We need a half a teaspoon of allspice. A half a teaspoon of nutmeg. And a 1 teaspoon of ground ginger. And 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. I'm gonna pull that plastic thing off. A little extra cinnamon won't hurt. If it's a little heavy, it's totally fine. So we're gonna get these mixed up, and then we're gonna do our wet ingredients. We're gonna combine those together, and then we're gonna add our pineapple, our carrots, our coconut, and some pecans. All right, so we have our brown sugar here. We've got our vegetable oil. These measurements are all done in grams. So I will just leave the link in the description box for this recipe for you guys so that you guys can check it out yourself. We've got our milk. We've got our sourdough starter. Don't drop the whole bowl in like I almost did. Apparently a marathon of making 4 desserts really fast is getting to me a little bit. But we're gonna get this done. This is our last recipe that we need to get mixed up and in the oven, and then we will be able to relax for the rest of the evening because I am not going to assemble these until tomorrow. I don't want to have my icing getting hard or anything like that. So we're just going to cover our cakes really, really well with saran wrap and just make sure that everything is sealed, and so they're not going to dry out overnight. So we're going to go ahead and incorporate our wet ingredients into our dry. I think I'm going to switch to a spatula to do this. And then I'm going to move on to getting our carrots, our pineapple, our coconut, and some pecans ready to go in this. And then we're just going to put this on a sheet pan and it's going to go in the oven. Super fast, super quick, super easy. I'm planning to make these really raw on the edges as far as like the frosting goes. I want that cut from the cake to really shine through. So we're gonna just not frost our sides. We're gonna leave our sides unfrosted, and it's just gonna have a little bit of our cream cheese frosting in between the layers, as well as a little bit piped up on top. And I think that's just gonna be really, really beautiful. All right, so there's that. We're gonna get on with our pineapple, our coconut. I only have this much coconut left. I don't know how much this is. It's not nearly the measurement that I needed, but we're just gonna use it because that's all I've got on hand, and I did not realize that I didn't have another bag in my pantry. So we're just gonna go with it. So we're just gonna mix that right in. And then we need to get our lemon juice in here. Let's get that mixed. I love how fluffy this seems to be with that sourdough start in here, or the discard. All right, so we're gonna put in our 200 grams of carrots, our 100 grams of crushed pineapple, and we're gonna put in a few pecans. We're gonna save part of these, a little bit of them, just so we can do a little bit of a garnish on top with our dried pineapple when we assemble these tomorrow. We're just gonna get this all mixed up together. And friends, I realized that I had forgot to put eggs in this. So I went back and put eggs in, and so you did not see that part, but I did add eggs to this. I just realized it after the fact, so I did put them in. This is gonna be amazing. We've got our sheet pan. We're gonna give this a spray really quick with our Baker's Joy, which is the stuff we used on the chocolate cake. Get that out of the way. Just want to have this really well sprayed because I don't want this cake to stick. I think we've got everything mixed in. So let's go ahead and put this on our sheet pan. Spread it out, and it's going to go into a 350 oven, and it's going to bake because it's going to be pretty thin, kind of like the chocolate one. It's probably only going to have to bake for about 10 to 12 minutes, maybe 15 at the most, but we'll check it after 10 minutes just to see where we're at with doneness. We definitely don't want to overbake this because I want this to be a nice light and fluffy cake, really good texture to it. So we'll get this just smoothed out the rest of the way. Just like that. Don't want to waste any of that cake batter. All right, friends, it's going to go in the oven, 350. All right, friends, here is our beautiful carrot cake. This is going to be absolutely stunning tomorrow when we cut this into some rounds and make our stacked little cakes. They're gonna go on a beautiful little platter. It's gonna be amazing. These are gonna cool tonight. Everything's gonna just kind of hang out. Tomorrow's the fun part. We get to decorate everything and put the platters together. So I'll bring you guys along with me as I do that. So we'll see you in the morning, friends. All right, friends, I just got home from work. We need to finish these desserts, get them ready. We've only got a couple hours before the youth auction tonight. This is our lemon cake. We're gonna get this glazed. We're gonna start our blueberry sauce that we're gonna serve alongside this on the platter. So let's get our blueberry sauce going first, and then we'll get the glaze made. So I've got some blueberries right here in my pot on the stove. I'm gonna mix up just a little bit of cornstarch and water. I don't want these to be super thick, but I do want them to kind of not be super runny. We're just gonna mix that up. I'm not gonna put it all in, I'm just gonna put a little bit for right now. We're gonna put a little lemon in here. Got my juicer. Lemon is a natural agent that will help thicken our blueberry sauce, and it adds a little bit of acid that we need. I'm gonna add just a little bit of sugar. I'll leave a link in the description box for you guys of a recipe for a blueberry sauce similar to the one I'm making. I've always just eyeballed my blueberry sauce, so we're gonna get this cooking over a medium heat. We want this to start to thicken, want the blueberries to soften a little bit, and then this is gonna be ready for that cake. Let's go get our glaze made. So for our glaze for our lemon cake, I want some zest in this because I want this to have a really good, fresh lemon flavor on top. And zest is one of the best ways to get that really good punch of lemon. That's probably good. I'm gonna put in a little bit of lemon juice. That's probably good. Gonna put a little powdered sugar. That's essentially all this glaze is powdered sugar and lemon juice. Grab a little whisk so we can whisk this. You just eyeball your glaze based on how thick or how thin you want this glaze. I can already tell I want it a little bit thicker than this, so I'm going to add a little bit more powdered sugar. Because I want this to stick to the cake. I want you to be able to see it on top. I think that's going to be perfect right there. Let's just get all of the lumps whisked out. As you can tell, it's missing a piece. Hubby had to try it. I told him it was fine. I don't need the whole cake anyway. I just need 8 slices. All right, so that looks perfect. Got a spoon, and we're just gonna start to glaze this cake. I want it to really get into the crack right here in the middle of the cake. And then after this glaze sets up just a little bit, then I'll be able to cut this into our 8 slices that we need for tonight. And we'll put these on our platter, and we're gonna have a little bowl of our blueberry sauce to serve with it. All right, just like that, dessert number 1 is almost done. All right, so this is our chocolate cake. We are going to cut 16 hearts out of this so that we can do stacked cakes. I'm gonna try to maximize my cake. 1, 2, 3. get those put on our rack. We're gonna make a filling to go in between these layers. All right, so we're gonna make a strawberry buttercream that's gonna go in between those chocolate layers. I have some freeze-dried strawberries. I'm gonna throw these in my mixer real quick and see if I can get them to crush up a little bit, because I want them more of a powder. We're just going to do a 1/4 cup of softened butter and a 1/4 a package of softened cream cheese. Let's see if we can get those to really chop up the strawberries. Let's start adding a little bit of our powdered sugar. Okay, so my vision for these is I'm gonna use my cookie scoop. I'm gonna put a scoop on 8 of these, and then I'm gonna top them with the other cakes. So let's get 8 of them lined up so we know where we're going. So there's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there's our 8 right here that we're gonna put our filling. And we're gonna squish them.
Before him with all of our faith, he is the change within us. There is a light. Let him lead the way. Lift our hands up and pray today.
Okay, so we're gonna take our cake and we're gonna squish it just like that. Yes, we're gonna get some on our fingers, but the cake is gonna be covered up with a ganache. So I think we're okay with that. I wanna kind of squish it around, get it so that we can see it. And move this one. And I wanna kind of push that frosting a little bit. Just like that. I'm gonna go wash my hands. All right, so we're gonna make an easy two ingredient dark chocolate ganache that's gonna go on the top of those chocolate cakes. All we need is heavy cream and dark chocolate chips. So I'm gonna put 3/4 cup of heavy cream into my glass bowl, and I'm gonna put this in the microwave. And it says you want it to be steaming, so I'm assuming it needs to be really hot. I think this is hot now. We're gonna put in half of this bag of chocolate chips. It's a little over half, but that's fine. We're gonna give it a little stir real quick. And then we're gonna cover this with a plate. We're gonna let this sit for 2 to 3 minutes until those chocolate chips are soft. Out of our pan. Loosen it up a little bit because the glaze is sticking to the pan. There we go. Let me just get it lift it up on one corner. I'm just gonna slide this right onto our cutting mat. I'm gonna put it back. What I'm not gonna take, I'm gonna put it back in that pan. So I'll save my pan right there. So we just need to, I want 8 big, beautiful slices of this cake. So there's 1.
Let him lead the way. Lift our hands up and pray today. Oh, pray. Everyone needs
My platter. We're just gonna arrange our 8 slices of our lemon cake on our platter. just like that. Let me get this out of my way. Got our blueberry sauce right here. And I want to get a lot of the blueberries in here. If we have a little sauce left over, that's okay. Hubby's got a couple little slices of cake there. He'll enjoy this sauce. So here is dessert number 1 completely done. Blueberry sauce with fresh lemon cake. Let's see how we're looking. I'm gonna make sure all of our chocolate is melted. We don't have any big chunks. And see, friends, this was even just a half of the recipe, and I still think it's gonna be too much ganache. But you know what? It's okay. It's gonna be fine. We're just gonna put a little of this on top of our cake just to kind of finish those off. And then, friends, that is 2 of the 4 desserts done. And then we still have to do the carrot cake. We have to finish the cupcakes. And then I have strawberries to dip and I have Oreos to dip that are gonna go in my gift basket. So let's go get our cakes finished. Okay, as I said, we are not completely frosting these. We are just doing the ganache on the very top of the cake. If it drizzles down just a little bit, that's totally okay. I'm not gonna worry too much about that. I just want the tops of them covered with our ganache. Just like that. Those are going to be so pretty. And there we go, friends. Are those not cute? I think I will finish them in a little bit with the rest of my melting chocolate after I do my strawberries. All right, friends, we are ready to have some fun dipping. We are going to dip some dark chocolate Oreo thins, and we are going to dip some strawberries. We're going to do our strawberries 2 different ways. So we're going to have them dark chocolate with either a pink or a red drizzle on them, or we're going to do them in a pink chocolate with the dark chocolate drizzle on that way. So let's get this stuff dipped so it can set up. We're going to start with the dark chocolate first. So we're going to get the dark chocolate in the microwave and get that melting so that it's all ready to go. All right, so let's check our dark chocolate, see how we're looking. It's probably pretty close, but I think it needs another probably 30 seconds and then we should be there. As you can see, our dark chocolate is perfect. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and dip my Oreos first and get those out of the way because those are gonna be the easiest to do. So I'm just gonna take one of my Oreos, drop it in here, roll it around, get underneath it with the fork, and just tap them so that that chocolate sheets off of them. Just like that. Let's get the rest of our Oreos done so we can move on to our strawberries. All right, just like that, those are done. All right, now let's dip. We've got 10 strawberries, so we're gonna dip 5 of them in our dark chocolate, and then we'll dip 5 of them in our pink chocolate. This brings back so many memories. When I was at the sorority house for 11 years, the strawberries were always my job to dip, and I loved doing it. It was always the highlight of all of our events that we did at the house was me getting to dip strawberries. All right, that's all the chocolate ones we need. Now we need to melt our pink and our red. The residual heat from the bowl will melt the rest of this. Then we are going to dip 5 of our strawberries in this. And then the rest of it, we're gonna put it in a bag and we're gonna pipe some of these. And we're gonna pipe, I think we'll put a little on our cakes over there. All right, we're just gonna go just like that. Just a little bit of a decoration, not a whole lot. All right, we're gonna get these put on our platter. I just put a little doily down underneath. And there's our platter. All right, so we've got these are our chocolate espresso cupcakes that we made last night. I made a really quick espresso buttercream frosting, and I will leave the link for that in the description box for you guys. So we're just gonna pipe our frosting right onto our cupcakes. We want nice, tall frosting. We've got some chocolate covered espresso beans that we're gonna garnish these with. I've got some fun little chocolate espresso beans. They are dark chocolate espresso beans. We're just gonna put one on the top of each cupcake. And there we go, friends. So this is our carrot cake we made last night. I've got just a cookie cutter or biscuit cutter. We're gonna cut 16 rounds out of this because we're gonna do just like we did with our heart cakes. We're gonna stack these 2 high with a cream cheese frosting in the middle, and we're gonna decorate these with some crushed pecans and some dried pineapple. I'm not gonna put canned pineapple up on top because it's wet and it's gonna wet down my cream cheese frosting, but I want them to know there's pineapple in it. So we're gonna use just some dried pineapple. So let's get our 16 rounds cut. All right, so I'm gonna put frosting in the middle, just like I did our chocolate ones. Let's move this over here so I can see what I'm doing. All right, let's get our tops on. Just like that. I'm gonna spread them out just a little bit. I'm not gonna put a ton of frosting on top of these. I am just gonna put a little bit on here, just enough that we can put our garnish on, and it's gonna hold it. But I love this unfrosted edge. So I just have some dried pineapple from Walmart. See if I can find a piece that is got a good shape to it. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna just cut off some little slivers. Put our little piece of pineapple on there. Almost forgot one right there. We got some, they're called cookie pieces, pecans. And we're just gonna put just a little light dusting on these. Just to kind of let people know what's in them. All right, friends, here is our lemon cake with our fresh blueberry sauce. We have our chocolate espresso cupcakes garnished with chocolate covered espresso beans. We have our chocolate cake with our strawberry filling and our chocolate ganache. And last but not least, we have our carrot cakes. Those turned out so adorable. I absolutely love them. And then let's don't forget our box of strawberries and chocolate dipped Oreos. Those are going to go for the auction. All right, friends, it's been a busy couple days trying to get all of these desserts ready for the youth auction tonight at church. Super excited to take these over there. Hope that they do really well. Last year they did really well. If I didn't explain in yesterday when I started to put these things together, that box with the strawberries and the chocolate dipped Oreos, that is going to be, it's going with a flyer. And I am auctioning off a dinner that I'm going to cook for somebody. For 2 people, they can request, I'll give them a menu to pick from. They can decide what they want, and then I'll come to their home and cook for them. I did it last year. It was so much fun. I got to cook for our old pastor and his wife. So it was amazing to be able to sit down with them, have a meal, and get to know them better. So I'm excited to see who wins the auction tonight, that I get to go cook for them. Excited to see who gets to enjoy these desserts. And I will post some pictures at the end of this video of these ones. We get them all set up at church and on the display. So friends, thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen as we made some delicious desserts, and we used a lot of sourdough discard. I cannot believe that every single one of these recipes has sourdough discard in it. So get your discard and start making some delicious recipes for your family. These are amazing. I can't wait to go try these at church tonight. Hubby's already been sampling. He thinks they're amazing. We both are just really amazed at how moist all the cakes are. They are so super soft. Love it. I think these are going to be my go-to recipes from now on for cake because they're super simple. I'm always going to have discard. So I'm excited to use these recipes again. Friends, if you have not yet, please hit that subscribe button up there. Hit that notification bell so you're notified every time we upload a new video. And friends, we'll talk to you in the comments. Have a great day and God bless.
Yes, everyone needs a friend. So let's come together, celebrate each other, stand united as one. We lift our hands up and pray, lay all our love before Him with all of our faith. He is the change within us. There is a light, let Him lead the way. Lift our hands up and pray today.